Well, hi everybody. How you all doing tonight? Good to see you guys once again. For those of you that I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I'm the executive producer of Float the Convention, and I want to welcome all of you to another edition of Step Chat. It's funny, Roscoe is. You know what? I'm going to do this now. Hello, Matt Russell. Hello, Miss Stephanie. Good to see you. I'm going to do this real quick because the last thing I want is somebody yelling and screaming at me that they're not getting enough Roscoe time here at the here on the show. So, yes, good. Hello there. Hello. Good to see you, sir. How you doing? Yep, I know. It's crazy, right? This is your adoring fans. You have anything to say to your adoring public? Really? You're coming over to smell the computer. Is that what you're doing? Hello, sir. Good to see you. Okay, so as promised, there's Roscoe time. Okay. See? As you can also see, if you pay attention to Alexa's feed at all, you will notice that he is no longer in his formal attire. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here, this way we can still get you going as I go back to my perch. There he is, all the way over there. And there's Skittles in the rabbit cage in case, I don't know if we can even see her or not right now. She's inside, I think. All right. Okay, so there we go. There we go. I guess I'm hoping that Teresa Harding now feels better. So let's see here. Oh, holy crap. I missed a whole bunch of commentary. Hello, Celeste. Hello. And yes, Angie, I am quite scruffy. Hello, Debbie Levy. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Christy. There you go. Okay, Teresa's been fixed. No pun intended. Her Roscoe fixed. There you go. Okay. And if the opportunity arises, I will give you more Roscoe time later because apparently there is a growing consensus that Roscoe's not getting enough screen time. So there you go. So hi, everybody. Good to see you guys once again. Now that we are in the very tail end of Valentine's Day, I hope that you guys, hello, Hannah True, and I'm hoping that you guys had a good Valentine's Day. We did and we didn't. Let's just say this Valentine's season was absolutely, without question, the best ever Valentine's we've ever had. Now, with that being said, it's not saying much. Prior to now, the best Valentine's Day that we ever had sales-wise, specifically Valentine's sales, right? I'm not talking about decor jobs. I'm not talking about an event that happened to be on Valentine's Day. I'm not talking about Microsoft's hosting a Valentine's party and we're doing decor for that. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm literally talking about people wanting to give a gift to somebody or something like that, right? The best Valentine's Day ever was about 13 years ago, and it was $175. So it didn't take much to beat it, right? And this year we figured with the new location and everything else, we're primed to beat it. And we did, and I'm very happy about that. And we beat it by a lot, exponentially speaking. You know, we can now honestly say that our best Valentine's ever was about $2,200. The downside, of course, to that is a couple things. Number one, hello there, Angela. Good to see you. The downside of this is the bottom line is that so all week long it was what is absolutely okay. So what we were told by a lot of other people that do Valentine's business is absolutely true. That most people that are doing Valentine's business tend to wait until like right on top of Valentine's Day before they get stuff. And so we saw that trend. You know, sales started trickling in on Tuesday. They got exponentially bigger on Wednesday. They got even exponentially bigger on Thursday. So the thought was, okay, great. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be boom, boom, boom. And I figured one of those days, Valentine's Day itself might kind of peter out. But, you know, I figured Friday is going to be huge. Saturday is going to be enormous based on this exponential growth. And then, you know, and then Valentine's Day is a crapshoot, right? If we do it, if we don't. And we even talked about the idea of, any display stuff that's left in there, we'd offer it for 25% off or whatever, just to get what's in the showroom out of here and that kind of thing. Sadly, like a lot of other people around the country, we got hit with snow. This is a big myth. Seattle, everybody thinks that Seattle is like witches tit cold all the time. Excuse my expression. And no, Seattle is actually fairly temperate. We don't really get snow very often, and when we do, the entire city freaks out and shuts down, and there you go. And we were scheduled to have, hello, Crystal. We were scheduled to have, the snow was supposed to hit at 5 o'clock on Friday, which basically meant that from about 2 o'clock on, anybody that was out was doing their best to get home. And then it didn't really stop snowing until today. So yeah, the exponential increase in sales that we were really hoping for Friday and Saturday and Sunday never manifested itself. Hello, Ronnie Crouch. So yeah, that, but again, that is always the possibility. I mean, it doesn't matter. I used to do a lot of trade shows when I was back in Cincinnati. I did a lot of trade shows, and it never seemed to fail. You spend, $1,100, $1,200, $1,500 on a booth to be in a bridal show, and then bam, winter storm comes in and locks everything down, and nobody's going anywhere, except you going to this bridal show and standing around, basically talking to other vendors for 3 days because nobody's there. And then the opposite can also happen. I did a women's show one time. Hello, Ronnie. I did a women's show one time, and literally they had a record, like, high temperature weekend in late October, like Indian summer kind of thing. Yeah, nobody went to that show because everybody's like, oh my God, it's 80 degrees outside. We have to enjoy this day. We can't spend it inside. And so all that money I dumped into this women's show was wasted. And again, I spent 2 days talking to other vendors because nobody was there. And I think anybody that ever does festivals, if you do vending at festivals or anything like that, this is true. You've seen it firsthand. If the weather's bad, you're done. It's not going to happen. Historically, though, in Seattle, rain's not a factor because it's always raining here. It rains 300 days a year here. So that's not something that's going to scare people off. But unfortunately, snow terrifies them. And so, as a result, we had, it's really funny too, because we decided we were going to stay open late on Saturday. On Friday and Saturday, we decided we'd stay open until 7. Friday night, I sat here till 7 o'clock watching TV because nobody was anywhere on the roads at all. But I said we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Then on Friday, that was Friday night. Then Saturday, Alexa lives on a hill. Or no, I'm sorry, she doesn't live on a hill. She lives on the side of a mountain. So with ice and snow, she can't get down, nor can she get back up. But I have a 4-wheel drive truck, so I had to go pick her up in the morning and bring her back. So at that point, we're like, we're going to wait and see what happens on Saturday. It was, again, a total tomb. So we decided to close at 5, made the announcement, we're shutting early. And then sure enough, like as we're locking the door, car comes flying up. Oh my God, are you still open? Okay, and we sold them like $20 worth of wood. And then this morning, same kind of thing. We get into work. I had to go pick her up again. We get into work. Like 2 minutes before we open, like somebody pulls in. Oh my God, are you open? Yeah, we can help you. And then that was it. That's all we saw all day. So for all day long, we just sat here doing nothing. Hi, Sherry. Oh, and I froze again. Hi, Sherry. And so, yeah, I just sat here doing nothing. Oh, that's hilarious. I said hi to Sherry Rankin, and Siri thought I was talking to her. That's funny. So, yeah, our Valentine's Day, it was decent. It was great compared to what it normally is for us. But, yeah, the weather kind of killed it. So, and I know a lot of you around the country felt the same kind of problem that we did, probably bigger. So, But yeah, but other than that, like I said, I can't really complain overall. I'm pretty happy. You have to take the victories where you can. And the fact that we did 10 times better than our best ever Valentine's Day, yep, gonna ride that all the way till next year. And then we're gonna try to beat it next year. So that's all you can say. Hi, Dory. Good to see you. Um, okay, so we do have some float business to talk about. We got some 1 million bubble stuff to talk about. And if we have time, we'll do the personal stuff. When I say if we have time, what the hell is that noise? Oh, I have some very strange noise on the side of the building. I don't know what that is. Um, if we have time, I'll just verse. One of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep Step Chat from now on at no more than an hour, if I can. We've just had some, the last few have gone really long, and while I don't think anybody seems to mind, I don't want to wear out my welcome, as it were. So I'm going to try to keep it relatively, under control. So let's talk about the Float Foundation. First of all, for those of you that enrolled in Dante's class, your free replay is over. That ended yesterday. Today begins your first day of 7 days of $5. So remember, today you received an email from Aphrodite with a coupon code in it, and that allows you to buy Dante's class for $5. So remember, that starts today and it ends on Saturday. Your last chance to download that video for $5 is this coming Saturday, which is the 20th. Don't ask me for an extension. Don't ask me for anything else. This is the way it always is. You get 1 week to buy for $5. If you did not enroll in Dante's class, good news is you can now purchase that class as a digital download. It is available for sale right now at the Orange Store. So there you go. So you can sign up now, or you can purchase it right now, and it's right in there. Dina, wow, it is so cold here. They're asking for people to turn down their thermostats and conserve natural gas and electric. Yep, I imagine that's a thing. I actually, again, I have to consider myself actually fortunate, because the people that came flying in here at 5 o'clock yesterday had informed us that they lived down the street and they'd been without power all day. They had not had power all day. Meanwhile, Alexa and I were sitting here toasty warm in the light. So, I can't really complain too much about that. And things could be worse, right? Okay, so that's Dante. And again, for those of you that did not enroll in Dante's class, you can now purchase that class as a digital download at the Orange Store. So there's that. Melissa, our next class is with Melissa Vincent. It is scheduled for February 23rd. It'll be taking place, again, virtually here in the world of the internets. Your last chance to enroll, hello, Jacqueline Smith. Your last chance to enroll in Melissa's class is next Sunday. It's a week from today at 5 p.m. So 1 week from me talking to you right now, you're too late to sign up for Melissa's class. You've got to sign up by 5 o'clock on Sunday of next week. So the clock is ticking. Make sure you get signed up sooner than later if you want to take Melissa's class gearing up for graduation. So like I said, we are anticipating this year's graduation season to be even bigger than last year. Our biggest client from graduation last year has already booked us and already told us they're spending more this year because they expected it. Because they knew that graduation was going to be just like it was last time, they budgeted more money. So and again, now that we're established here in our new community with this whole retail-ish element, we're expecting a much bigger graduation season. So I'm excited to see what Melissa has for everybody as far as graduation season goes. I have not had a sneak preview yet as to her designs, but I'm hoping to get a look later this week. I also want to remind everybody that if you are pre-registered for Float 2022, you are eligible for $10 off the price of that class. So if you're in the forum, there was an image of Melissa posted about a week ago. Look there for the discount code. If you are not part of the forum, reach out to me privately and message me, and I'll be happy to give you the code. Okay, so there's that. And finally, in the month of March, there is a free Float Foundation class featuring Jeff Kelly of Asset Lab on how to supercharge your website. But there seems to have been a bit of miscommunication about that class that I want to share with everybody. Some of the other, there's this rumor going around, or this bit of miscommunication, that you must be fully paid for Float in order to attend the class. No, you must be at least pre-registered for Float. So if you're involved in the payment plan, you are eligible for that class. You don't have to be paid in full. I've been saying since the beginning, you just have to be at least in the payment system in order to be eligible, okay? So make sure you get signed up for, well, actually you won't need to get signed up for that. Now, you will receive an email from us with the information you need. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. Hi, April, and happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Here's what I am gonna tell you. The most people we're allowed to have on a call at any one time with Zoom is 100 people. I believe there are going to be about 300 people eligible for this class. So my suggestion is, I'm telling you right now, not everybody's going to get on live. That's just it. Not everybody's going to get on live. So if it's not a big deal for you to be on live, just wait till the replay option. You'll still get a full month of replay. So just hang out and wait for the replay option. If you are, if you really have a question that you want to get answered, what I would strongly suggest you do is email it to us in advance. And I'll probably, what we'll do is we'll create a meme and put that together. Get the question in there. That way, if you don't get in, you know, at least we can try to address the question if Jeff doesn't cover it himself in the class. Okay. But understand that this class is specifically about supercharging your website, getting more SEO, you know, how to get your website better search engines. And I'm sure even though like Google advertising will be discussed, it's not like the entire class is not going to be, you need to advertise with Google. That's not how Jeff operates. So there'll be a lot of things that he'll present to you. And like I said, that's how I met him. I signed up for a free class with Jeff through a Chamber of Commerce. And we were so impressed with the knowledge that he presented and the information he presented and the fact that it wasn't sales pitchy. He taught this great hour-long class. And then at the end, he said, by the way, if you're ever interested in having somebody do your website, I can do it. We really like that approach. And that's why we chose to go with him. And I've been very happy ever since. So, you know, and again, he's getting ready to redo the Float website too. So I'm excited about that as well. So that's March. That is March. So make sure that you are signed up for that in March. Okay. Well, again, I'm sorry. You don't have to be signed up for that. You'll get an invitation for that. So that's the foundation as of right now. As of April, we don't have an assignment. We don't have a teacher yet. We don't have a class yet. Again, if you have suggestions or ideas that you would like to see for a class in April, let me know. We'll certainly research it. We'll certainly evaluate it and throw it out there. Please understand that there is a difference between this is the class I would like to see and I want to teach a class. Okay? We have actually, I mean, we've had to tell people, no. We do. I mean, we have to tell people no. A lot of classes that we get pitched are similar to ones that have already been done. In other cases, we've had classes pitched that were nothing more than shameless plugs for products. Can't do that either. So the level of standards from Float are still going to be there. You know, we're not really doing intermediate, or not. We're not really doing beginner level classes. That's not what this is. And it's interesting because my class, Linking Sculptures 101, it's amazing how many people focused on the 101. And I had established Float people, 2. Yes, thank you, Sherry. I saw that you just signed up. Thank you for that. I had 2 different people complain to me, angry, that I was teaching a beginning level class for Float. And I went, how do you, first of all, why do you think I was teaching a beginner level class? Secondly, you didn't take the class. Well, it's a 101 class. Yeah, but did you read the entire title? It's Linking Sculptures 101. Sculptures in itself is an intermediate level course. The fact that you're teaching sculpture design in itself to decorators is an intermediate level. So why would you think that's... So yeah, I had to have a... And I guess that's one of the things that always bothers me the most are people that gripe about stuff that don't necessarily have, the real knowledge about it. And don't get me wrong, we all do it to some extent. I'm not perfectly innocent myself. We all make presumptions about things. We all make assumptions about things. But at the end of the day, when it's you, right? It's another thing entirely. So it's like, hey, no, I'm kidding. It's not. That doesn't mean it's okay for me to do it to somebody else. That's what I'm saying, is that I try to be really conscious of that because I know I don't like it being done to me. So there we go. So yes, Sherry, thank you very much for signing up for that. And hello, Marissa Matthews, and happy Valentine's Day to you too. If only I had more women in my life saying happy Valentine's. I'm kidding. I'm just teasing. Okay, so that's everything for the Float Foundation. Now, let's talk about some new Float content coming your way that I'm very excited about. If you remember 2 years ago, I guess it was 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, our own Anthony Cooper did a podcast called The Flotation Device. Well, now he and his adopted sister, Teresa Harding, have teamed up, and now they're going to start doing the podcast together starting this week, as I understand it. So they're going to be introducing you to the instructors teaching at Float 2022. So I'm very excited about that. Looking forward to it. There's also the potential of a new podcast coming out with me, but I don't want to say anything more about it yet until I know more about it, until I've actually decided upon it. I haven't made a final decision yet. Because it's a long story, it's like I don't have enough to do already. But yeah, there's that. And then there is one more thing I want to share with all of you. Just talked about it today. I'm really excited, and we're still working out the details, but I'm really excited. So as you all know, we have a new office manager. Her name is Aphrodite Gonzalez. It's a bit of nepotism because she is my niece. She's my adult niece. Actually, it's one of those things where those of you that remember Rio, I was married to Rio. Aphrodite is actually Rio's niece. So, biologically speaking, is Rio's niece. But I became such an integral part of their family as well as our marriage. I'm very thankful that they have decided to keep me on as Uncle Steve despite the divorce. In fact, it was the biggest fear I had in the divorce with Rio. Was that Aphrodite and Naomi and Zimmy and their family would reject me because I was no longer with Rio. And if any of you know me and you know the history of me and those girls, I would have given my life for those kids. So I was thrilled that they wanted to keep me on. And so Aphrodite is now our office manager. She's helping me out with Float stuff. So what we're actually talking about doing is creating an FAQ section once a week or every other week with Aphrodite called Fro Fridays with Aphrodite Gonzalez. Fro Fridays. PHRO, apostrophe PHRO. It's kind of a play on her name and a play on Float Fridays. Fro Fridays with Aphrodite Gonzalez. So the idea would be that she would basically take the 5 most popular questions she received that week and just do a verbal Q&A about this. And, okay, and here's a question that quite a few, what's going on with the hotel? Okay, well, let me talk to that. And then she would then discuss what's going on. So it's one of those things that I'm very excited about. Oh, Crystal Rutan, you're so clever. I just love her name. Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's really, it's cool. I'm excited about it. So I talked to her about it today, because part of the thing is too is that I want her to have an opportunity so that you guys can get to know her, so that you guys would also feel more comfortable reaching out to her. Because I know that right now we've got this transition going. There's this, because there's still a lot of people that are still connecting with me, or they'll send her an email, and if they don't get the answer they want to hear, then they start nagging me. And eventually what's going to start happening is a lot of people are, they're going to reach out to me and they're going to get a response back, and it's going to be info@flowconvention.com. If it's one of those questions that info@flowconvention.com. Come on, please, info@flowconvention.com. And for some of you out there, as much as I like you and as much as I adore you, some tough love is coming your way. Because some of the questions that we've been getting in the last few days, I mean, seriously, I mentioned this on Tuesdays with Tony the other night. Aphrodite, her first week of being office manager was extremely mild because, you know, again, most people know to come to me. And so she got a spattering of emails and questions that I would get. And after the first week, she actually said to me, yes, Dina, you're absolutely right. Yes, going to dad because mom said no, right? She said to me, she goes, I've been doing this for a week, Uncle Steve, and how have you not killed somebody yet? She's already like, she goes, my God, I don't understand some of these questions. Again, people are asking questions that are answered in the very email that they're replying to because they're not reading. And I will say that for the first time in 3 or 4 years now, 3 years probably, I yelled at somebody the other day. I absolutely yelled at somebody the other day. I did. It was very obvious that this individual did not read one speck of the email that had just been sent to them that morning. And they swore up and down they had read it word for word. And they asked me 3 questions. All 3 questions were covered in the 4 segments that consisted of the email. And it's too much. And I totally did. Totally did. So it was time, I guess. I hate doing this because I don't like, and everybody seems like they're on pins and needles now if they have to ask me a question. I don't want people to feel that way. And I tell people this all the time. If you truly believe that you have exhausted every opportunity to try to find the answer, then by all means ask me. I don't care. But don't ask me, don't message me from the Float website, what are the dates of the convention? When it's right there at the top of every page on the website. How do I register for Float? The Float Convention website is posted everywhere. Why? So that's where I get upset. That's the kind of stuff. And what's funny is that, so I will start to get really, I'll start to get really like abbreviated, right? I'll start to get very abbreviated with my responses, and I'll be like, where do I register? Flowconvention.com. Well, you didn't have to be so snarky about it. I just answered the question. The problem is I didn't answer the question as embellished as I normally do. So, okay. Now, I actually just got an email from Bernella Henry, who I see is on here right now. I saw the notification come through. And this is actually my next topic of conversation. So, Bernella, your timing was beautiful. Thank you very much. The forum. We have had a massive wave of new registrations come in, and I have lost track of, I have lost track entirely of who's been in and who's out and who's not gotten in yet, whatever. So one of the things that Aphrodite and I are doing this week is we are doing this whole push to try to get as many of you that are in the forum or eligible for the forum, added as quickly as we can. So if you are not currently a member of the Float Forum and you have paid in full 2 contingencies, paid in full and not in the forum, send an email right now to info@flowconvention.com and say, hey, Aphrodite, Steve said I should email you to let you know that I'm not in the group, okay? that's a thing. I want to make sure that we get caught up. That when Float Friday hit and then I went on vacation, a whole wave of people came in and I've lost track. So and I just don't have time to sit down and go name by name by name, search here, search here, search here, search here, search here. So we're trying to find them organically as it comes. It's going to be in this week's email blast that goes out to all the paid people. One of the links will be, are you in the forum? And if you are, great. If you're not, click here to let us know, and we'll get you added. So that's what we have to do. Now, keep in mind, in order for you to be in the forum, you and I have to be friends on Facebook. So if we are not currently friends on Facebook, send me a friend request, okay? So that way I can get you in, because the problem is I'm not allowed to invite people into the group unless we are directly friends. It's a Facebook rule. So there's another weird noise. Not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's just weather related or what. Not sure what. It's very strange. And keep in mind too, we've got temperature variations and stuff here, but I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just going to take a look out here. Just a little bit, for all I know, it might have been ice. It might have been something else. Who knows? But there you go. Okay. Yeah, it's so weird. Some of the noises you hear around here and stuff. Just never know. And I wanted to make sure that I've actually, wait, hold on. That's another thing. Did I actually lock that door? Oh, there's my notes. So I'll have to pick those up on the way back. Quick tour. There you go. Yep. And yeah, okay, good. We're good. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I apologize for doing all that with you, but can never be too sure sometimes about things. And since I'm up, and since I know it'll make Teresa Harding extremely happy. And for those of you that are just now getting in on the call, there's more Roscoe time for everybody. So a few weeks ago, Alexa decided to set up Roscoe with just a box here in direct line of the heater. So he kind of camps out here. It's really funny. Alexa has probably spent a couple of $100s on different beds for this cat that the cat refuses to sleep in. But you put an old cardboard box with some blankets in it, and he's just deliriously happy. So there's that. Okay. No, Flavia's like, we should give you a tour. No, there's not enough here to tour, really. It is what it is. You can see 80%. You'll see 80% of the actual shop we use is you just saw it, so it's fine. But yeah. But thank you. So okay, and thank you, Brunel. I appreciate that too. That you're trying to reduce my meals, and you can reduce those emails by sending to info@floatconvention.com. Okay, because what's going to happen is, like I said, Aphrodite is going to take over a lot of this general day-to-day type stuff. And so basically, I would say, by the time this all gets down, 80% of the questions she's going to get are repetitive. And she's smart enough to actually she's created a folder of static answers that she can just copy and paste, boom, copy and paste, boom, copy and paste, boom. And that's it, as opposed to me that never quite figured that out and kind of just typed in everything and drove myself nuts. Hello, Heike. Good to see you. Long time no see. All right, Seth, I will make sure that I tell her that. So there you go. And thank you, Flavia. Yeah, I realized Flavia's comment was, kudos for you allowing someone to help. Yeah, it had to happen. Like I said, for those of you that don't know much about Float, we don't normally spend. Normally, the year in between conventions, we don't do much. I take 6 months and normally take 6 months to just completely abandon the process for the most part. The Float group just kind of sits and just kind of hankers down for 6 months, and then I come back in and don't forget we're Float's coming in a year and a half, whatever, and then about a year out, that's when we really start again. COVID kind of well first of all, Float's bigger than it's ever been. So I think we're beyond that time now where I could shut down for 6 months and not touch it. The other side of the coin is that when COVID hit, obviously everything changed, and so now, like the week before, just before Float Friday or just after Float Friday, when I got back from vacation, I was immediately snowballed with people's issues, and many of them, again, were solved on the website. And I just realized, I'm like, no, I just got back from vacation. I don't want to completely negate everything I just enjoyed with all this stress. I need help. And so I just made the decision that, and Float is finally in a position, I think, where I could afford to do that. Mind you, again, when you look at all the COVID expenses and everything that we have to deal with that, it's one more expense. But for my own sanity, I think it's worth it. So there's that. Okay, real quick, let's talk about 1 Million Bubbles. I'm very thrilled to share with you that the next 1 Million Bubbles project is coming up the last weekend of April, which is April 24th and 25th. We're still debating whether or not there's going to be an actual theme to it. I think it may just be 1 million bubbles from this point forward. Not so much of love or joy or hope, but maybe just of 1 million bubbles, and we focus on the history of the event and talk about where it came from and how it came about a little bit. So plan on that, April 24th and 25th. Also, I am very thrilled to share with all of you, our Club Latex with DJ Tegro was so popular, like really popular. Like a lot of people messaged me like after the fact, like how much they really enjoyed it. I'm thrilled to share with you all that we have secured him once again to do a 1 Million Bubbles party with us on the 24th, which is Saturday night. So DJ Tegro will be joining us Saturday night, April 24th, for another round of Club Latex. Now, I will admit, I don't know if it's going to be here in the Float group or not, because we've had so many issues with Facebook and streaming music and the whole 9 yards. And some people could get in, some people couldn't. And then the next segment, the ones that couldn't get in before got in, and the ones that were in before couldn't get in. And so, yeah, we're going to we may have to go another route. I know that DJ Tegro's got a Twitch account. I know he's got some other things. We might have to go that route for that show, but we'll figure it out one way or another. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that too. That's all that I have as far as Float stuff goes. So what I would like to do, it's 6:37. What do you know, Teresa? So I got about 20 minutes left. I want to chat a little bit. I want to expand on something a little bit. I guess my step chat last week, the personal section of step chat really resonated with a lot of you. I got a tremendous amount of feedback from last week's step chat. And I want to share with all of you, again, I want to remind everybody that the views and opinions that I am expressing throughout step chat are strictly my own. They are, it's just my opinion. It's from my experience and from this and that, it's my opinion. Whether or not it works for you or not is another story entirely. My experiences are very different than other people's experiences, which I will comment on here in a little bit. So yeah, I just keep that in mind when we talk about this stuff. But apparently it really resonated with a bunch of people. But one of the comments that I got a lot is that, how do you define being creative, or how do you get creative? And because that's not such an easy thing to do. It's easy to say, but it's not always easy to do. And so I did come up with a few ideas of things that you can do. As far as when I say getting creative right now, I mean with your business. Because right now, you're hearing about all these. Well, I don't know if you are or not, but like for example, okay, so here in Seattle we have the Big Wheel, right? Just one of those massive Ferris wheels things on the waterfront that's been pretty much sitting stagnant, right? Well, they teamed up with a local restaurant, and they put tables in all of the wheels, the containers, the carts of the wheels. And so now you can book dinner in the wheel. And you go get on the wheel, and you sit down, and the catering, or the restaurant that they partnered with comes over and brings you dinner. And then for 90 minutes, you get to be in that container and have dinner and see the Seattle skyline and everything else. It's really, really clever. It's a really fun thing to do. And that is one thing that you can, that idea is one of the ways that you can get creative, is to form alliances, form new partnerships with other businesses. I actually did an article for Balloon HQ many, many years ago on this very topic. It's for those of you that aren't familiar, Balloon HQ was kind of the predecessor to Facebook as far as balloon community networking went. And the article is very much still there. It is, and I'm hoping somebody can pull it up for me if they want to, but it's balloonhq.com/column/S Jones, as in Stephen Jones, /APR, as in April, and then 04. So that's how far back. It was about 16 years ago. But the reason behind this particular article is that one of the things I had done at that time was I helped create an organization called the Reading Bridal District. At the time, I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio, more specifically, Reading, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cincinnati. And we had a bridal shop called Bridal Informer, which at one time, I don't know if it still does or not, but at one time it boasted the nation's largest inventory of wedding gowns. And not just wedding gowns, but designer wedding gowns. And again, because we were in the middle of the Midwest, for example, you could buy a Vera Wang gown for like 15 grand less than you could get it in New York or Los Angeles. And so it was not uncommon for brides from Manhattan and Beverly Hills and stuff to fly to Cincinnati, to this little town called Reading, to buy their wedding dress because they could save tens of thousands of dollars on the price of the dress. And well, I was one of 30-something businesses in the area that catered to brides. And myself and a couple other businesses were like, why have we never done this? So we actually formed and created the Reading Bridal District. And I'm thrilled to say, I just pulled it up today. It's still there, readingbridaldistrict.com. They're still doing it. So I'm thrilled to know that that is still very much a thing. Now, mind you, that's a lot more ambitious than what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about just, partnering with another side bit, to find another business that's kind of related to yours and partner. You just never know where it's going to go. And I don't just mean barter per se. I mean, actually find a way that the two of you collectively can raise money. Since COVID's done, we've partnered with two other businesses. Unfortunately, neither one's really panned out, but that doesn't mean that I should stop trying. The first one was a group that does children's parties. They do the entertainers, like they send costume characters, like princesses and Spider-Man and that kind of thing. So we had this idea of doing balloon bouquets for these virtual parties we're going to start doing. So like the talent would be in their home doing the video for the kid, right? And then there's this package together, and part of the package was a balloon bouquet. And we agreed, we kept it a really inexpensive bouquet. We basically did a $40 bouquet for $10 off because we knew that they were going to make up for it in volume. And then we gave them a bulk price on delivery, which, in the end was not probably going to be the greatest idea in the world. But at the time it was like, but look, we'll make up for it in volume. Actually, Sherry, that is not the right link. Thank you very much, Sherry, for posting that link, but it's not the right one. The one I'm actually speaking about is April 04, not February. I don't remember even what February was. But I did write two articles on networking, but one of them, the one I'm specifically referring to, was April. But the idea was we're going to make up for it in volume. Well, the problem is this. They were selling this entire package for $125. The problem is they were already promoting the video aspect of it for the kid at $25. There were three things in the package. There was a video aspect, there was a coloring sheet, which they were already giving away free on the website, and then there was me. So basically, they were charging $100 for my balloon bouquet. I don't blame them for trying to make up some money, but anybody with half a brain goes, wait a minute, $25 for the video clip, or $25 for the video clip and the coloring sheet, or $125 for the video, coloring sheet, and balloons? Nobody bought it. Nobody bought it. Then we teamed up with a local, what we thought was a cookie bakery. What it actually is a cookie dough bakery that serves cold cookie dough. It's not, it's I forget exactly what it is. It's like a vegan, gluten-free thing, so it doesn't have egg in it, it does whatever. I forget what, the whole thing that makes you sick, right, if you eat it. So it's safe to eat, but they serve it like it was ice cream. And we did a partnership with them, and it did all right. Unfortunately, we found out that locally the business doesn't do so hot with the locals, and that's who they were marketing. Basically, it's a tourism-oriented business. When there's no tourist season, they're not doing so well. And yeah, so there you go. So, but that doesn't mean there isn't one out there that we can work with. And so we're still looking to find the right, we're still looking to find the right group of people to partner with and see what we can do. But there's always out there. So consider that. That's number one. Number two is forget what you know. Forget what you know. And what I mean by that is we all get hung up on stuff that doesn't work, right? We've been doing business long enough that we know, okay, this works and this doesn't. And we've convinced ourselves that this will never fly, this will never happen. I tried this, I tried it, and I tried it, it never worked, right? When organic came out, how many balloon people said this will never fly? How many of you looked at that organic garland and went, what the heck is this? What the hell is this? I had to censor myself. So, well, what, dear God in heaven, is this? They can't even blow the balloons up the right size. And now it's here to stay. So you have to unthink what you know. I got to give it up to Alexa Rivera. I always do. I mean, I tell everybody, Alexa Rivera is right 98.9% of the time. And when she's wrong, I have to double check my math because she's right constantly. And she was absolutely, hello, Gabby Rivera. She was absolutely spot on. With the online store, we'd only had bouquets on it. And Alexa was like, we need to put other things on there. We need to try to get other things on there. And I was always convinced that no, I don't want to do that because I don't necessarily want some of the more creative pieces or whatever to be just plastered out there with a price point so that people could then, basically steal, undercut, whatever. But when you look at our Valentine sales, every single thing that we sold through the website was something Alexa suggested we put on the website. Every single thing. Every single item that we sold through our online store was Alexa's idea to put on that website. Absolutely right. And you know how many bouquets we sold from the website that are traditional balloon bouquets for Valentine's Day? Not one. Not one. We sold a couple bouquets, but they weren't the traditional, they weren't like the ones that we went out and bought product for. Hey, Tristan, they weren't the ones that we went out and bought products for, right? The jalapeno that you're hot, and the dog, and I woof you, and that. None of that stuff sold. None of it. Everything Alexa suggested sold, and I was convinced it was a bad idea. You had told me that stuffed balloons were going to be a thing. I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Stephanie Marquardt, for crying out loud, is practically making a career of it now. I mean, dear God, this woman is not. I mean, if anybody's keeping Qualitex's 18-inch clears in business right now, it's her. My God, she's just, I mean, the number, the sales that she's running every holiday now with stuffed balloon concepts is amazing. She's doing great, fantastic. Um, and again, never in a million years would I have suspected that that would be a thing, but it absolutely is. Um, Tristan, you're way too late for that question, buddy. You're gonna have to go back to the beginning, watch the replay. Yeah, it's kind of insane how this is all kind of changing, and so you have to be willing to unlearn what you think you know. And finally, the third thing that you really need to do more than anything right now is you need to be brave, and you need to become the mad scientist. You need to be willing to be Dr. Squish. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, for those of you that weren't at Flow 2020, you have no idea what Dr. Squish is. But what I mean is you got to be willing to experiment. You've got to be willing to play. I've been very hesitant right now to play because of all the shortages that are going on. For example, now keep in mind this isn't the same thing for me, but I don't even bring it up. The bottom line is that I once sat down with, in my opinion, one of the greatest balloon minds that has ever lived is the one and only Christopher Horn. And I sat down. Thank you, Dina, for posting the link. Thank you. I sat down with Christopher once and I asked him, because he's always coming up with new stuff. And this is before he was anagram decorator, right? Or Amscam decorator, or whatever he is on Facebook, right? This is when he was just Christopher Horn, the balloon guy still doing balloons and teaching for Quality. And I asked him, I said, so how many hours a week do you actually spend just playing and practicing and becoming, a designer like this? And he looked at me dead in the face at 10. He knew. He goes, I work 5 days a week and I spend 2 hours every day of those weeks experimenting, on average. He goes, and sometimes we're so busy, I just have to do it all in a day. So if I have a slow day, I'll just spend the whole day playing. He was constantly trying to design. And I find myself getting lazy in that capacity because I know, with linking balloons, I know that I can make any damn thing a client says. But see, that's one of my biggest shortcomings also. And this is another thing that I brag about Alexa Rivera about all the time. Because I'm the sledgehammer guy. When somebody calls up and says, okay, we're having a theme and it's about, we're having a theme and it's about footwear. And I'll be like, I make shoe, right? That's my job. I can make a shoe. And Alexa can say, well, we can do this garland and blah, 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 blah. And the garland will be tapered in design so that it creates the outline of a shoe. Or she's like, oh, I've got these centerpiece ideas and we'll have laces on them that should ply the shoe, but it's not an actual boom of the shoe. This is the kind of stuff that just blows my mind. This is the kind of thing that I need to be better at, right? I need to start concentrating on the essence of something as opposed to, but I get lazy because I can make a shoe or whatever. So I don't have that problem. I mean, if somebody says, I need you to make this, I got it. I don't need to, how do I make that? I don't need to figure that out. I could take one look at it, break it down into pieces and make it. It's those ideas. That's where I need to start playing and start getting more creative. Oh yeah, Flavia, you're right. Christopher Horn's amazing. Absolutely, it's stunning. And then, he's just the bomb. So you need to be willing to experiment. Now, if you're not right now, I know it's a little scary, but here's the other things. Here, Matt, if you have any linking balloons left, that's right. The good news is I was able to find some recently. And again, for those of you that I've shared this on Tuesdays with Tony, Balloonia and Gemar, as I understand it, aren't having the problem with linking balloons that you're having, say, with Qualitex or Batalic, because most people don't use them. I called up Sandra at Winter Party in Los Angeles and said, what, can I get 6-inch red and 6-inch yellow? She goes, yeah, how many do you want? And I got 10 bags of each without even thinking twice. So yeah, there's product to be had. You just got to be willing to go beyond what we know And remember, they are sponsors of Float, so that's something too. Um, but the one thing that I do want to suggest, and this is something, yes, Jamar does have linking balloons, Flavia. Yeah. The one thing that I was going to say earlier, and I don't want to go too far on it because I want to finish this up and keep my timeline going. I with the snow, I really wanted to build something balloon wise, and I decided no because I didn't want to risk losing the product if I can't replace it, right? And at the same time, I realized that it's not a creative thing. It is creative, but it's not new idea creative. And I want you to think about this as I get ready to sum this all up. The last biggest trends of the balloon world came from non-balloon people. They did. They weren't established balloon people. The last big trends, the tassel balloon trend, the organic trend, the balloon mosaic, and the balloon marquee, if you want to call it that, the balloon delivery of the Navy system. They're not traditional balloon people. They weren't balloon people. They created something. Now, keep in mind, none of those people are making a living off of their design per se. They're not out there in the trenches like we are. They're making more money per se teaching people or selling them supplemental supplies of what they do than actually what we're doing. It is time for one of us to create the next big thing. And that's the thought I want to leave you with on this. So, all right, so real quick, I want to recap the important stuff that we talked about at the beginning of this conversation. If you have any questions, now would be a good time to get them in the comments so that I can respond to them. Dante, if you took Dante's class, your free replay is over. You now have about 6 days left to get the $5 option. You got an email this morning. Check your inbox. If you didn't take Dante's class, you can now purchase it as a digital download, and it is available for purchase at the Orange Store at floatconvention.com. Excuse me. Melissa's class. Enrollment for Melissa's class ends on Sunday of next week. So it's $20 if you are pre-registered for Float. It's $30 if you are not. It's called Gearing Up for Graduation. It's going to be about graduation style designs and things like that. You have until Sunday, a week from today, to get registered. Until 5 o'clock Pacific time on Sunday to get registered for that class. If you are in the Float forum, the code was posted last Monday. Check there for Melissa's picture. If not, if you're not in the forum and you're eligible for the discount code and you want it, message me privately. I'll be happy to give it to you. If you're at least pre-registered for Float, which means if you're in the payment plan process, you are eligible for the free class in March with Jeff Kelly. But keep in mind, there is no way 300-something people are going to be able to be live on this class because our plan with Zoom only allows up to 100. And Jeff and I are 2. So we're going to explore that option down the road and figure out what we're going to do. And I might even talk to him about the possibility of scheduling a couple of class times for this. We're going to talk about it. We'll see what happens. I have not spoken to him about that option, so keep that in mind. New content coming your way. The Flotation Device podcast with Teresa and Tony are coming back to you starting this week, I believe. And we're also potentially having a brand new segment once a week or every other week called Fro Fridays with Aphrodite Gonzalez, our new office manager, who'll be tackling a lot of the FAQs that she gets every week through the inbox. 1 Million Bubbles is coming up April 24th and 25th. That is going to be the next edition of the project. And Club Latex will be taking place on April 24th with DJ Tegro returning once again to spin for us live. Always a good time. Everybody seemed to really enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And if you were not yet invited to be a member of the Float Forum and you are eligible, and by eligible, I mean you are paid in full for Float, drop a message to info@floatconvention.com and let us know that you have not yet been invited to be a member of that group, and we will get you invited. Okay. So with that being said, it's almost exactly, in fact, it's probably an hour and 1 minute since I started chatting tonight. So I want to let you all know how much I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Uh, Thank you very much for being part of the Float family. I know that this is a trying time for a lot of people. It's a very uncertain time, even still. The good news is there's light at the end of the tunnel. We can see it now. It's coming. Stay strong. Keep going. Keep pushing. Don't give up. We got you. And on that note, I'll chat with you all next time. See you later. Thanks. Bye.